Lorena was on the way to costing the mental health system, or the state system in California, probably upward of $100,000 a year, year in and year out. Because if she was in the state hospital, the charge there for a year's visit is $140,000, I think. If she was just in jail, the charge there is $50-some thousand a year, or I guess $27,000 for county jail, but $50,000 plus for state prison. So treating her in a program which costs the state about $10,000 a year and Medi-Cal billed for another $8,000 or something is really cheap and really sensible. For the state hospital, you don't get any federal share of support, nor do you for the institutions for mental disease, the locked nursing facilities. So, and you don't for jail. So it doesn't make any sense to treat people in institutional structures when you can treat them in the community. The other thing that I think is really critical with Lorena is we did not give up. You watched Mark Reagan's, the psychiatrist, talking on the tape. Mark is the sort who wouldn't give up if his life depended on it. He just doesn't see that as an option. And Lorena was certainly a difficult person in the beginning and for some time. But it's sort of like, many of you watching this have children. You know that children test limits. That's how we grow up, as we test the limits. If you've been institutionalized for the first 18 years of your life, and all of a sudden now you're out, you didn't have limits before, you had a stricture. That's something worse than a structure. But you were just clamped down. Now you're out, what are you gonna do? You're gonna test every limit in sight. And you're gonna see, what can I get away with? What's gonna happen? Who's gonna knock me down? How are they gonna knock me down? What's this gonna feel like? The safety of the TAY program, or the safety of the village, is in knowing that no matter how many times you fall down, no matter how far you test the limits, you are not going to get permanently kicked out. And that's the ultimate safety, the safety of a relationship that is, as far as we're concerned, indestructible. People can destroy the relationship. They can walk away from it. Nobody's held here against their will, but we're not going to be the ones who kick them out. And because transition age youth, most of the ones that we have spent years and years in foster care or institutions, they're sort of delayed. You wouldn't want to call them developmentally delayed, because that's sort of a different group that deals with that. But the development of adulthood has been delayed, and so now they've got to go through all this learning. And it can be very rough on staff, it can be very, very rough on the docs. It can be very rough on the walls and windows. Lorena tells you she destroyed this, she destroyed that. But in the end, you can see as the celebration and the end of the video that Lorena's making it, and she's gonna make it. And that's the victory. That's the victory we're always after. All those risks pay off, and a person gets their life together.